This is Kris Gardner with another Houston Roundball Review conversation. I stopped calling them interviews because I like chatting with my folks. So, and this person needs no introduction to the city of Houston, H-Town, and U of H basketball fans. Galen Robinson has joined me on this conversation. Young man, how you doing?
Blessed and highly favored, man. Couldn't be in a better place.
That's a great answer and great outlook, man. Thank you for taking some time to talk to me. Let's just go back to Westbury Christian, man. When you were at Westbury Christian, did you think your life would have accomplished and taken the turns and reached these goals you've reached so far in your young life on this earth?
Honestly, I don't really know how to answer that because I not to sound like full of myself, but I've always kind of thought highly of myself, and I always thought that I could be somewhat of an important asset to someone's program. And you know, I know for a fact that like my work ethic, which I developed at a young age, I knew that it could carry me. Obviously, like being able to experience these blessings, man, it's definitely it's definitely a blessing. It definitely makes me happy, but I know I put in the work to do so, and I'm definitely glad to have had success thus far, and I'm looking forward to having more.
Who helped you develop, establish, build that work ethic?
My mama, Alicia Robinson, Marlon Lowe. Obviously, like everybody else in my family, all my cousins and stuff, but mainly my mom and Marlon Lowe. He was like my mentor, is like my mentor. So they pushed me really hard. Definitely more so my mom off the court because she's an educator. But Lowe definitely pushed me on the court, and you know, I was always kind of like a little guy. I didn't hit my growth spurt until I was like a junior in high school. So I always had to kind of go the extra mile just to get the same attention. And I'm glad I had to do so because it definitely paid dividends.
How tall were you before your junior year in high school?
I think my going into my actually I hit it like in my junior year, but like I remember my freshman year I was like 5'5".
Okay.
And yeah, and I probably finished the year like 5'7". Like I was just a little scrawny kid, and all my peers, they were all like bigger than me, stronger than me, and like I'm taller than all of them now.
Has your game changed from then? Because you were quick then, lightning fast, but has it changed at all?
I've definitely gotten smarter. I say my game is definitely speedy. Hopefully that never changes. And believe it or not, I've gotten faster. But I feel like I'm just more just a better leader and just more aware of what's going on. I'm able to think the game at a higher level. And, you know, that's definitely helped me as well.
When did you hear from the U of H staff and Kelvin Sampson about going to U of H?
I remember it was this tournament at the gym. That's what it's called. It's called the gym, and it's in Humble. And we had played the hoops, and we had smacked him. Like I remember he was there, and I played really well. And then the next week we were in Dallas at the Bob night, and he was there again watching me. And I think that night or the next day, I think he called me, and he was like, I wanted to offer you a scholarship the first time I saw you, but he said I wanted to see if you could duplicate your performance. And I did. So that's when he decided that's when we started to build our relationship. And, you know, and the rest is history.
What other schools were looking at you or offered you scholarships besides U of H?
Man, I don't even, wow, it seems like it's forever ago, but Bowling Green, TCU, Creighton, a couple schools had wanted me to red shirt, which was definitely not an option. Like Georgetown was trying to get on late. It's a number of schools, man, but I kind of already knew in my heart where I wanted to go. So, like I said, the rest is history.
So was U of H your your school of your first choice?
Nah, not really, because I had a cousin who went to U of H, and I used to go up to the rec with him, and hoop with his buddies, and I did that from when I was like 10 till I was like about 16 or 17, and all he ever said to me was, "Don't ever come here." And that's all anybody ever said to me was, "Don't ever come here." That's all you ever heard, and like I heard that so much, like I was just like, "Yeah, all right, bro, I'm not." And then Coach Sampson, he gets the job. His track record speaks for itself, and whenever he was recruiting me, I just felt like whenever I talked to him, I learned something. And he obviously, and the conversations were long. He's a long-winded dude, but every time we talked, I learned something. And I can't say that for all the other coaches that I talked to during the recruiting process.
Did he sell you on the vision he had for U of H? Because when he got there, I mean, hooping at from 10 to 16, and I'm an alum, you're an alum.
Yeah.
It was a dump. So,
yeah.
I mean, Coach Sampson had to sell you on his vision.
Yeah, definitely. And but I just knew that, like, I have a tremendous amount of confidence in myself and what I can bring to a team. So it really wasn't really selling me on a vision. It was kind of more so like, this is what you're going to be a part of, because I knew I was going to put in whatever amount of work to not have to accept failure. And I'm just glad he gave me the opportunity.
Do you remember being named the winner of the Gavi Lewis Award?
Yep, and I remember you talking to me.
Yeah, that means you're getting old too, man.
Yeah, man, I'm getting old.
So what did that, because that winning that award kind of began the attention for you more citywide, not necessarily, folks who followed you at Westbury Christian knew about your game, obviously, but your decision to attend U of H, winning that award, you were part of the foundation, because as you touched on it, folks told you not to go to U of H, but you're going there kind of opened the door for people. Well, if Galen thinks U of H is cool, I should consider U of H. Have you thought about it like that?
Yeah, because I remember like Fabian, like he told me I only came because you came, bro. Like, and then obviously I wasn't his host on his visit, but he was kind of with us, and he was like, bro, you're a big reason I came. And I'm just like, I'm glad I was here, because I'm glad you're on my team, big dog.
Just from your freshman year at U of H to your senior year at U of H, how did you as a person and a player change and develop?
I just felt like I became a man. Got to college, man, I was just a boy. Like, I was oblivious to, you just think rules and certain things just don't apply to you. And that's not how life works. But, Coach Sampson, he does a good job of kind of preparing you for life, with how he orchestrates, our practices and our team values and stuff like that. So, I think the most important thing to me is that I became a man. My mindset changed for the better, obviously. And, I just see a lot of the young guys, like one of my young buddies, Javier Francis, he's there. And I just told him, like, man, you're going to become a man. Like, that's going to be the most important thing that you learn here, is how to become a man, how to compete, and just how to be mentally strong. And obviously I feel like the most improvement from my game has come from the mental aspect, is because I view the game different. I view the game as an actual point guard, and that's my position, and that's what's been getting me paid. So,
so yeah, I mean that's a big part of it. And talking about Javier, and so you still keep in touch with the program. That's a change for the better. That's a change for the better, because that's one thing that fell off, from the 80s, late 80s, 90s. The program did just an awful job keeping in touch with alums and, former players and all those things. So I really commend Coach Sampson for changing that and bringing it back. So okay,
but Coach Sam, he just keeps the door open. It's kind of funny. I was talking about this earlier with one of my trainers, and like I was telling him about like the culture. Like a lot of people on the outside don't really understand what it means, but it's kind of indescribable. You kind of have to be a part of it. And I was telling them, I was like, people who are looking to try to get jobs at U of H, not everybody is meant to coach there because the culture is demanding. It's not for everybody. And but he definitely orchestrates it as it's definitely a family atmosphere, and that's why I'm gonna go around for however long they continue to let me around.
how much did you weigh as a freshman at U of H?
I was probably like 160.
How much could you lift, bench?
It wasn't a lot. I've never been a big bench guy anyway, but I knew when I was a freshman year, I was skin and bones.
When you left your senior year, how much did you weigh?
I was like, my playing weight was like 193.
So what's it like working with
huge
Coach Alum Bishop? What's he like?
Bishop gonna get you right. Bishop, he just is a lot of his stuff is like is injury prevention. Mm-hmm. He works. He just knows what he's doing. It's just kind of like you just have some sort of comfort because every exercise you're doing, he's telling you what it's doing and how it's going to benefit you. And I remember one time we did this one workout. We had like 1 pound weights, and we were working out these muscles that we had that like were so underdeveloped that it was hard to lift 1 pound. And I was just like, nah, yeah, this dude is different. Like I just know however they want you to look, Bishop gonna make you look like however they want you to look. He gonna get you right for sure.
Is there a game at U of H that you still remember and think, man, it sticks with you, like you can't forget it?
Sticks with me, Michigan. Michigan, Kentucky, them games I won't forget, but on the positive note, like the games that it's a lot of games. Obviously we beat Ohio State to go to the Sweet 16. Winning conference. My freshman year we played LSU. We beat LSU. Beating Cincinnati at home my freshman year. Like all those games that were building blocks that were kind of necessary for us to take that next step. And like each year we got better and better. And but it all started from that freshman year, boy. That was a tough year. That was a crazy year, man. That was, and that year we beat SMU. They were ranked they were like one of the only undefeated teams. We beat them. They were like top 12 in the nation. I mean, we beat them too at home.
Right. So
to
go from hooping at U of H from 10 to 16 when the facilities were just in shambles, to being able to be a part of the Guy V. Lewis development facility. Just what are your thoughts on the improvement from then at 10 to when you were hooping it in the Guy V?
It's night and day. Christian James, Christian went to Oklahoma. I was working out with him today. And like I told him after we finished, because we had a hard workout, I was like, I'm about to go to U of H get in the cold tub. So we get there, and like I don't know why he acted like he'd never seen it, but he was like, dang, bro, y'all training room got all this, like. And I was just like, yeah, bro, this ain't what you used to, big dog. This ain't this is we big time now. Like,
yeah.
But like the facilities, the improvements, man, is tremendous. I remember that training room in Hofheinz, man, that mug was like a box. It was like a 4x4 room. It was so small. Like, and now the training room is probably like the training room is ginormous. The practice court is sensational. The locker room is crazy. The weight room is amazing. Like everything about it has just taken 10 levels up. Like I'm like I said, I'm glad to be able to call that home, because a lot of dudes, especially when I came out of high school, everybody, they went to different schools because obviously it wasn't cool to go to Houston. But like I remember a lot of them, their careers didn't pan out at their desired universities. So they would ask me like, "Hey, G, bro, like talk to Coach Sampson to see if he gonna." And I'm just like, "Bro, you're trying to leave your school to try to come play here, but it's like we're better than the team that you're leaving. Like we have better players than y'all. So you're not gonna play there, bro, you're not gonna play here. Like crazy.
How times have changed. Okay, man.
Man.
Your college career is over. Tell me about your pro career on the court, and then I want to talk to you more about substantial worldwide. But how are things for you professionally on the
Can you repeat
court?
that? Oh, professionally, I mean, obviously I enjoy it because, get paid to play basketball. But obviously it has its challenges. Like my first year I spent with the Spurs, I learned a lot of stuff about the game and just a lot of stuff about being a pro. And definitely was crucial to my development as a on and off the court. Just because they kind of run things just kind of how Houston does. Just it's kind of like a no nonsense. You got to conduct yourself in a a high class manner. But it's definitely a grind. It's not for everybody. And if you truly don't love it, then you won't make it, because a blessing and a curse about being a pro is nobody's forcing you to do anything. So if you like, oh man, I don't feel like getting in the gym today, and you don't get in the gym, well, nobody gonna tell you to go get in the gym because you're a professional, So that's the pro and con, and that's what separates the guys who are going to have 10, 15-year careers from the guys who are probably going to have 4 or 5-year careers.
Have you gone overseas to hoop?
Yeah, I was in Germany earlier this year, and I came back. Actually, I got cut just because the coach, he told me that he thought I was lazy and disrespectful. Two words that I haven't heard directed to myself ever. And then he said I was lazy, disrespectful, and had a bad attitude. So so I got cut for that reason, I guess. And but I go to the G League bubble, and then I win the sportsmanship award. So it's like some ain't adding up, but it ain't up to me to figure it out. I'm gonna just keep being myself, so I can control what I can control.
How was your time? How would you describe your time in the G League bubble?
It just felt long. Like I got picked up out of the player pool, probably for like the last 2-3 weeks, last 2.5 weeks. But it just being in the player pool, just practicing every day, just kind of just blind grinding, just hoping just waiting for an opportunity. It definitely can. And then you go to your room and you just sit in your room. There was a lot of things that you could look at in a negative light, and it could affect like how you approach each day. But I didn't let that get to me. Tried to stay positive, stay on the straight and narrow, and whenever I got my opportunity, I was prepared for it. But just like the bubble, it was just what are you willing to sacrifice? Just how bad do you want to be a professional? Because there was a lot of dudes who were looking to do all these, try to break the rules that they had set in place for no apparent reason, jeopardizing themselves. And it just like, you just start to see like who has discipline and who doesn't. And, there are people who, what I learned from the bubble is there are people who might be where you want to be now. But in about 4 years, you might be where they are. You just got to keep maintaining discipline and just staying the course.
And what was life for you after the bubble?
Big chilling. Big chilling. Just because I felt like I was in Germany for 4 months and then in the bubble for a month. So, and like in Germany, everything was shut down. So I was isolated for longer than I've ever been isolated from anybody. And I just got home, and I just wanted to just soak it all in, just because it was such an emotionally difficult and a mentally difficult year. A lot of days I cried, man. A lot of days tears of joy, tears of sadness. It was just emotional, and I just owed it to myself just to take a break and just be grateful for everything that I have, everything that I worked for, and be grateful to be around my family.
What inspired you to create Substantial Worldwide?
What inspired me was another U of H alum, Lanny Smith. He had came and talked to us and was talking to us about, just preparing for life after basketball. And that was my senior year that he had came and talked to us, and it resonated with me because I know the ball isn't gonna bounce forever. So I remember went home and thought of some stuff, brainstormed some stuff, and crazy thing is, I remember I was gonna call it Solid Clothing. I mean, I remember I looked it up, and then that name was already taken. And then I went to bed, and I woke up, and I just thought Substantial. And then I looked it up, nobody had it, and I was like, yeah, that's gonna be this is the one for me. And I just try to use it to try to spread awareness about certain things, just kind of positivity, and and it makes me happy because it gives me a chance to be creative, and also because a lot of times basketball, you can't just let whatever sport you play just take up all the space in your mind, because it'll drive you crazy. And I just feel like me brainstorming certain ideas, it definitely gives me a chance to take my mind off basketball and just focus on something else.
What apparel does the company offer?
I've done a lot of stuff, but it's kind of just streetwear, just hats, shirts. I've done bracelets, sweatpants, crew necks, hoodies, sets, and looking to diversify some more. But a little bit of everything. Obviously not jeans. That's not really my deal. But everything that's comfortable, I've pretty much done.
And how do you do it, man? Where do you get the clothes? Who's helping you make all this? Because how long has the company been around?
It's been 2 years.
You've had a lot of success. The company's had a lot of success in those 2 years, man.
It's definitely been cool. But I get it made from overseas, but all the ideas there, obviously all of my ideas, they're inspired by something, but they all come from my head. I try to see what I can incorporate into Substantial from other, companies and such. And it's no original ideas under the sun, man. That's what I learned. So I'm just glad to just be able to do something that resonates with so many people.
How do folks get in touch with Substantial? How do they get some gear?
I mean, social media, and I have a website. My website is called it's the number 1 and then substantial.com. And on Twitter and Instagram is the same thing. It's just One Substantial, @OneSubstantial. And you can see whatever you like. A lot of times stuff is sold out, so whenever you see it, you gotta act quick. It's a good problem to have.
Indeed, man. So has Coach Kelvin Sampson asked you for some gear?
Oh yeah, they all bought some. Yeah, they all bought some gear.
And I need to do that, because I told you that I think the first time you reached an interview years ago, I need to do that. So
yeah, man, you slipping, man. You slipping. You got to get you some gear, man.
So I will do that, but tomorrow at the latest. I will do that. So yeah, for sure. So that's a promise. All right, man. Speaking with Galen Robinson, let's talk some NBA playoffs. Is your favorite team still in the playoffs?
Honestly, I mean, obviously, I'm a LeBron fan, but I'm just a fan of basketball, and it's just I just want to see good games. I want to see nail biters and games that come down to the wire. That's what'll make me most happy. Blowouts and stuff in the playoffs. That's not really my thing.
Last night's Bucks Nets game was not happy for you then.
Yeah. I mean, the crazy thing is, me and Armoni, we watched that game together, and we was like, bro, let's cut this off, because This is not entertaining, man.
I'm like you, man. I just want competitive basketball,
It's
and
competitive basketball. That's it.
the Bucks look like they had no
No
clue
life.
what they were doing. Just no
No
life at
life.
all. Yeah. And they got waxed without James Harden.
Yeah.
So,
And the crazy thing about it is like I remember when that happened the first game, that was probably the worst thing that could have happened because they saw him go down. They probably thinking like, oh, this is about to be easy. Whereas if he might have still been
yeah,
playing, they would have
yeah.
been clicking on all cylinders, So it's you never know.
Do you and Corey Davis keep in touch?
Yeah. Actually, I'm supposed to be going to he's having his first basketball camp in Lafayette. I'm supposed to be going to that, depending
Okay.
on where I am and with in terms of the summer league stuff and if I have to be in San Antonio or not. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna go if I'm free for sure.
And you mentioned Armoni, so did you and him get a chance to talk while y'all were in the bubble?
Oh, all the time. Did we? Man, I ain't never talked to me and Armani. We were ace boom coons in college, and it was
Right.
like I ain't never talked to Armani so much. Like it was like every time I could, just cause like it was nobody. There was nobody in the bubble who I was closer with than Armani, and vice versa. Like that's my dude to the casket close.
So how happy, thrilled, proud are you of what he's accomplished so far with the Rockets?
I can't even put it into words, man. Like, cause I remember we used to late nights in the gym. We talked about it all the time, and I remember when he came on his visit, I was his host, and like we had such a good time. I forgot he was in high school. I forgot he had to go back to Austin. I was like, damn, like man, I don't want you to leave, bro. But I remember after he had when he got news that the Rockets were giving him a two-way, he called me crying. And I'm like, bro, is everything all right? Like is your family I'm lost? And he was like, man, the Rockets just signed me. And I'm just like, I started screaming. I was like, man, like this is long overdue. They should have been called you up. Like, but there's not a more deserving person than Armani.
How soon did you realize that his 3-point shooting was legit?
He had came to an elite camp when he was in high school, and I was a freshman. This is before he came on his visit, and I saw it then. And I was like, and they put him on my team, ironically enough. And he got a lot of shots that day, and it was a lot of makes. I was like, yeah, this dude can play, definitely can shoot it.
Let's talk about
the
the
thing about Armani though, he got progressively better each year. Like
right.
each year he took a step, and that's the sky's the limit for him.
How much, since you were in Germany, how much did you get a chance to watch the U of H team this past season?
The first half of the season, not so much. I would just see the highlights and stuff on Twitter. But whenever I got back in the bubble, when I got back, and then I had to go to I was watching every game when I was every game they played when I was back. I watched if I could. And I remember in the bubble, I forgot who. I think they might have been playing Memphis or something. I don't remember. But I remember, and when Tremont hit that bank, I was like, oh my goodness, this is insane. Like, I remember watching that, I was screaming because I was like, man, it's not looking too good for us. And dude had came through. I was like, yes, sir.
Were you surprised, just a little bit surprised that they made it to the Final Four?
Nah, because since when my junior year, every time we brought it up in we brought it in for a huddle, we said Final Four on 3. And like obviously it's kind of a little bit bigger of a deal when you actually do it, but we always knew we could, so it's not really a shocker to me. Definitely is like, it's maybe surprising, but it's not really a shocker, if that makes sense. Like, didn't catch me off guard because they're a good enough team. They were a good enough team to be where they were.
And how Describe your amount of pride that U of H men's basketball once again is relevant on the national basketball scale.
And there's nobody who reps Houston harder than me, man. And to have been a part of, I just thank God for the opportunity to be a part of something like that, kind of the resurrection of some of a school that should have been that was once a powerhouse, to be a part of the resurrection, and also to be from Houston. You can't beat that with a bat. Like I have a tremendous amount of pride about my city, about U of H, and there's no better feeling like when after you get a big win and you just, you kind of like grab your jersey and kind of like show them that you're from Houston, like just moving your jersey up and down, like, yeah, this is where I'm from. This is who we are. Like, there's no better feeling than doing that and knowing that's your hometown. And to whenever I go around, they always like, man, you started all this. You started all this. I'm like, man, that's cool. That's fine. It doesn't matter to me if I started anything or not. I was just glad to be a part of something like that.
You and Gerald Green, man, you two brothers rep H-Town to the max, man. There's no doubt where y'all from.
To the max, man. It's a lot to love. It's a lot to be proud of, and being from the city, man, it's a lot to be proud of.
I got to ask you this, man. The bubble drill. How would you describe
it? I have a bump on I have like a scar on my lip it'll never go away because of the bubble drill. Let's just say that. It is not for boys. And if you're a boy, you will quickly turn into a man, because if them scars you're gonna get from the bubble drill, those scars are gonna last a lifetime. I guarantee
it. Your first time in that drill, what was your initial reaction when you saw it or when you participated?
I mean, I was like, what? Like, what's the point of having this? But like, the point of the game is to make shots. Like, why is this bubble? And then coach started explaining, and I was like, oh Lord. And like I was a freshman, so I was the smallest, the weakest. I remember the first bubble drill, I lost. Like, I was on the line running for dear life. But you quickly you get the bubble drill makes you play a little bit more grimy, like it definitely gives you that nastiness to you, and the bubble drill, it definitely makes you compete at a very high level, a level that you probably never thought you can compete at.
What advice would you give the newcomers, the fellas who have arrived on campus and are learning about the culture at U of H?
My advice would be to surrender. Surrender to the culture, surrender to the coaches. Just surrender. Be a sponge, and work on your game outside of practice. Get up shots every night outside of practice. But definitely just to surrender, because when you're a freshman, I remember with Coach Sampson, he used to say, Galen, you know what's the best thing about freshmen? Is they become sophomores. And I didn't know what that meant until I was a sophomore. And it's crazy how it's like, and then when you're a senior and you, like my senior year, the freshman was Nate. And Nate had a lot of growing up to do, in a sense. Nate, he had a crazy high motor, but there was a lot of stuff that he had to learn. And it's just like, man, I just remember doing exactly what he's doing, having to run for every single thing. And it's like, boy, did I not miss it at all.
Wrap it up, man. Is there anything you want to say, give a shout out or anything like that before you close it out?
Shout out to God, man. Thank you for having me, for the city. I had a lot of fun in this conversation.
Oh, speaking of fun, man, just popped in my head. Sunshine, man. Sunshine.
Oh, man.
Did you talk to him about it at all?
I'm actually you reminded me because I'm definitely about to holler at him now because he didn't get the rose. And I remember like, because I don't watch The Bachelor, The Bachelorette. I don't watch none of that stuff. But
Me either.
obviously, if he was gonna be on it, I was gonna watch it. But they said he didn't. They like Joseph Duarte. He said, spoiler alert, Landon is exiting after the first night. I'm like, man, I ain't even gonna watch this, man. That's crazy. I should have had my boy.
Because I wondered, I mean, now looking at it, it makes sense. But when I saw the commercials, I was like, there's no clip of Sunshine. So there's nothing.
Yeah.
Where is he?
Yeah, that's what everybody was saying. So I was like, oh man, his boy got sent home. Man,
So,
but
yeah,
nah, that's definitely that was definitely weird to see. My boy on the batch, man, that was crazy.
I gotta talk to him about that, man. The experience. So, all right,
yeah, I'm gonna talk to him about that too.
Thank you as always, man, for taking time to speak to me, and we'll keep in touch.
Yes, sir. No problem, man. Thank you for having me.
You take care.